subscribe. Hope everyone's having a great day. Let me get this set up. All messages a go. Everything should be good to roll. Figured I'd go live during the day, switch it up a little bit. Trying to figure out why the channel's struggling for growth. And I want to see if this is one of the possibilities. Got some interesting videos today. Got some videos where people are going to fuck around and find out. Got a couple updates. Got an update on the young man who's been paying child support for a kid who isn't his. And his legal battles going forward. Trying to keep up on that. What up, Kai? Salute. Hanging in there, buddy. Hope you're well. Trying to stream during the day, see if it helps the numbers out. Trying to figure out what's going on with my channel. I don't know if I've been shadow banned or what, but I'm trying to do everything I can to switch things up and see if it helps. Well, excuse me, while trying to keep my teeth in my mouth. But yeah, we're gonna play the update of that first. I got some Clown World bullshit. Clown World insanity. Got some funny, interesting videos on some lesbians saying that they're not trying to date modern women anymore. Good luck with the new place. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. But yeah, I've had some issues. I don't understand why my channel's not growing. After it went crazy. First 6-7 months, the channel was growing like crazy. Now it just died. I'm losing people. And it could be because I haven't changed up content. That could be part of it. But I just find it odd that I'm losing people at such a large amount. But I'm not the only YouTuber. There's big YouTubers that are experiencing it. Some really big channels that I found out recently are struggling with the same thing. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the political stuff. I don't know if they're picking and choosing who they want to have out there. But we're going to switch it up. I'm going to start doing some more stuff during the day. I'm going to try to force myself to wear my teeth. Doing pretty good, though. I had a nice workout with one of my buddies today. Went and shot some hoops for about a half hour, 45 minutes. I got to get in shape. I don't know if I'm going to stop making videos about that. Maybe at some point. Excuse me. But focusing on my health. I'm excited. I'm going to get a haircut tomorrow. I can't fucking wait. Go donate my hair. But here we go. We'll check out some of the... We're going to go look at the DNA test from that young man that's been going through it. We've shown him in other videos I've done. But it sounds like he's finally coming in to being cleared as the kid's father, at least having to pay. He shouldn't have to pay. If he's not the biological father, it's fucking nuts. But I digress. Please like, share, subscribe. Here we go. So, woman attacks man after DNA test proves he is not the father. We've been following this case for about a month. And this is the first update I've gotten on the case since the last two videos I've done.
This said, I'm not the dad. Bachelor, I was done. I told her, if you're not going to follow the agreement, neither am I. And so, I quit paying her. I asked her if I could keep the baby. She said, once you pay, then we can discuss. I told Hadley I wasn't paying her, and we got into it. She's like, you have everything you need to take her back to court. If I stop paying, all the judge is going to hear is that I stopped paying child support.
For those who don't know, if you haven't seen the first part of the story, you have to go watch the first part of the story and the second part of the story. This is the third part of the story, and basically what happened is this guy, when he was 24 years old, he met a woman that was in her 30s. During a one-night stand, she said she just wanted a baby, so he gave her his baby batter, essentially, and she ended up getting pregnant. Turns out later on, after he signed the birth certificate, so legally he's the father, but it turns out paternally he found out that he wasn't the father. He took 2 paternity tests to prove that he wasn't, and he's been fighting it in court. Since then, he's been giving her about $750 a month, and he's allowed her, she's gotten about $55,000 in total out of this guy, and he allowed her to stay inside of an Airbnb that he owns for 2 years straight. So basically, false paternity from some crazy lady in her 30s. He made a mistake when he was 24. He acknowledged the mistake. It's a big deal. Now he's off to another relationship with a woman that he loves, and he wants to get this in the past, but it's just been following him ever since then. He pulls out this huge binder with just evidence and evidence and evidence and proof that justifies him, or that says that he isn't the father, and legally he shouldn't be liable. But since he signed that birth certificate, y'all know how hard that is to fight in court. So that's what he's been dealing with. You guys gotta go. I'll leave a link in the pinned comments and in the description. How easy it is for a crazy woman to be able to dig her hooks into a man and the court system, and use the court system as leverage to extort the man via the child. So I think it's a really good example of that. So you guys go watch the first part 1 and part 2. This is part 3.
Just saying, but I was at my breaking point. And then I hear from my mom. Now she's telling my parents that they can't even see the baby anymore because I refuse to care for her. Which to Maria, that just means I'm not paying her enough.
Yeah,
and
of course
it's the
it
same
is.
thing that she always does. When she can't control me, she goes to my parents because she knows that works. I caved after 6 days and paid her. Just like that, I was allowed to see the baby again. How they brought up DNA test, and me thinking court was imminent, I thought it was a good idea to go ahead and order it. So that weekend when I had the baby, I decided to do it. So me and Hadley are just laying on the couch, laughing about something, and that's when I get a notification. It's an email from Paternity Lab. After I open this email, I read it, and I think I'm reading it wrong, but I scan it 3 times, and I see 0%. I look at Hadley, and I say, I'm not the dad. And I just drop my phone. And she picks it up, and she says, you're reading it wrong. She starts scanning it, and zooming in, and I'm over here, just my hands over my head. She looked at me and she said, you're not the dad. And it just felt unreal. I felt shock. And that's when I immediately called my mom. Whenever she answered, I just said, I'm not the dad. She didn't know I was taking the test. It was a complete...
You know how earth-shattering that must be? Being told you're the father of a kid, allowing a woman to live in your Airbnb for 2 years for free, paying all that child support, and then finding out you're not the father. I would have went fucking ballistic. This kid's a much better guy than I am. I would have lost my fucking mind. Good job on him not fucking falling apart.
Shocked to her. She yelled at me. She said that that's not real. There's no way. At one point, she was like, "There's no way. You'll have the same eyelashes. You'll have the same toes." And
Wow.
I said, "Mama, everybody has eyelashes. I just looked at everything."
Yeah, it's really interesting because I told this story in part 2 of this about one of my buddies that dealt with the same situation. I'm not going to go through the whole story again, but when he found out, he said that it was also bittersweet because he grew an attachment to the baby. He had been taking care of the baby for so long and making so many sacrifices to take care of the baby that he thought was his, that by the time he found out that it wasn't, obviously as sweet, because he's like, I don't have to do these responsibilities at 15 years old anymore, going to work, going to school, taking care of the baby, all these different things at once. I don't have to do that, so it's a relief.
Yeah. It's got to be bittersweet. But this kid spent so much fucking money and time. And the woman lied and lied and lied and lied and lied and lied and fucking lied. And she gets away scot-free. Not to mention, as well, what about the kid's real father that's missing out on everything? We're going to find out who that kid's father is today. At least an idea of who it is, hopefully. This story's fucking crazy. This is why I had to give an update on it.
So after a week, there's this incredibly weird, like, silence. I feel this pressure on me to, like, make a decision, and I'm trying to tell everybody what else to do, and I don't even know what to do myself. And one night, Hadley comes up to me, and she says that, hey, babe, we can just pretend none of this happened. Whatever you want to do, I support you 100%. And after thinking on that, like, it was definitely an option. No one else knows. We could just go on, continue with our regular lives. I wasn't thinking about Maria and how she treated me at this point. It was just me thinking about my relationship with my daughter.
Exactly.
I think 2 days went by, and all I could think about during those 2 days was how unfair it was that the real dad had been robbed of all this time with her, all the special moments that I spent with her. That is something that he never got to have. I felt like I was thinking that if I was to not tell the truth. So at this point, I still haven't made a decision. My parents still don't believe it at all.
And because of all this emotional turmoil, even though she caused all this emotional turmoil, that woman will never be responsible for anything. And there are people that are going to say, oh, you could go and there's paternity fraud. You could go and get back pay for all the child support.
You're never going to see it.
I'm telling you right now, and you can look up the statistics on this stuff, you hardly ever are going to get that as a man. Paternity fraud is easy to prove, but hardly ever is the court actually going to move on it just because the woman is the primary caregiver. At this point, there is no man in the picture that's going to take care of the baby because we don't know who that is biologically. And when it comes to these paternity situations, paternity fraud situations, since we don't know who the dad is, if you lock the mom up, now you have to think about the kid being alone. So oftentimes you hardly even see that enforced. So by and large, this woman who's caused all this chaos has robbed the original father or the biological father from the opportunity to know their kid, has robbed the kid of the opportunity of bonding with the biological father. All these different things that's just come from her bad decisions, and also his too. Don't get me wrong, but she was sleeping around when she was doing this, and she knew she was in the wrong. She knew he wasn't the biological father if you go watch part 1, part 2, but she was trying to pin it on him. So
yep. I don't know how you get... I mean, it's tough, right? How do you go after a woman that's fucking lied about everything, and now the kid's got nobody? And this story is nuts because all he was supposed... Oh, excuse me. All he was supposed to be was a sperm donor. She wanted him to have nothing to do with the kid. She just wanted him to basically help her make a baby and go live her life. And then she drove him nuts. Before you know it, he's paying child support. Now we're to the point. He also let her stay in his Airbnb for like 2 years or 2 months for free. Now he finds out the kid isn't his. You got to stop making it so these women get away with this stuff. He's out hundreds of thousands of dollars. And he's lived a lie that he'll probably never get over. The amount of damage this woman has caused is fucking apprehensible. Apprehensible. Disgusting. And she's drove this kid nuts. Go look it up. Nurse Hadley's boyfriend. You'll find all the information on it. People that haven't watched this on my channel might not know, but the people that have watched, this is part 3. This is when it starts to get juicy.
It was a conscious decision on her behalf, and there will be no punishment for the female part and played in these paternity issues. There's never any female responsibility or accountability, and I think that that's criminal because the man is damn near held to the sword, where even if you can't pay your child support, you will go to jail and be stripped away from your family or the child in general just because you can't pay. So yeah, I just think that it's criminal that these women can go out and just do all this stuff and cause this amount of chaos, and there's absolutely no punishment for it. I think that's insane.
I decided to do another DNA
It's not right.
test, and
not right at all.
I wanted to see the baby and see how I still felt whenever I held her. So everything was fine at first. She was calling me Dada, and just every time she would call me Dada, it just started to eat at me.
Of course it did.
I just started uncontrollably crying, and I had to call my mom to come and get her. I couldn't do the test that day. So my mom comes and picks her up, and Hadley being Hadley, she calms me down, and the next morning, I know that I still need to do the test. My mom brings the baby back down, and that's when we did the second test. I knew exactly how the results would be, and I knew this would be the last time I'd see her. And that was the single most worst day of my life.
Sad.
And as I'm trying to grieve this, I still have to keep quiet. I'm trying to talk to attorneys. I'm trying to keep my cool. And I still have Maria harassing me and abusing me through messages when I know at this point that it's not my kid. I started telling friends and family, and everybody's in shock.
The probability of paternity is 0%. Bro!
Isn't that the most insane thing you've ever seen in your life?
I hired a lawyer, and he said, do not contact Maria again until she's served. For the first few weeks, I was just sad, and then there was this moment. Hadley and I were just sitting there, and she kind of mumbled under her breath, I can't believe she called me a whore. And both of us just started dying laughing. This was the first moment where
And this is what a lot of people, like narcissistic, scummy people do. That girl, Maria, he was supposed to be a sperm donor for fucking is the worst, disgusting, bipolar, narcissistic, borderline personality disorder having woman I've ever fucking heard of. Damn close to it. She called his new girlfriend a whore, said her kids were taken from her, and put a bunch of lies on the internet. This is fucking disgusting. I'm glad this kid's gonna come out on the other side probably okay. He did a stupid thing, but he didn't think she was lying to him. This gets really juicy now.
where I was like, what the f*** did I just go through? And then small town people start talking, and I start getting messages like this. I guess all of her friends always knew who the real baby daddy was, but no one bothered to tell me.
Wow.
And I was pissed. I started looking at this tattoo every day. She would post this tattoo on her Facebook, and now knowing that her friends knew, I start wondering, were they laughing at me the whole time?
Yeah.
I started to hate looking at my own arm, and I didn't want the tattoo anymore. It had nothing to do with the baby. It had everything to do with Maria. Hadley suggested that I either get it covered or removed. After some thought, I thought a line through it would symbolize moving on from the abuse, but not forgetting the child that I love. In October, Maria gets served a lawsuit, but not before I heard the process server say this.
Get her.
I've been down this road before. Yeah, who was the guy? He did some kind of swimming pool builder or something that she was fooling around with.
Apparently she's been in lawsuits with men before. I had no idea. After she was served, I gave her plenty of time because I asked Hadley how she would react if her kid's dad served her with paperwork showing DNA.
Oh, she's been in lawsuits with other men before for similar things. When she wasn't even fucking pregnant. This is her first child. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. And the people attacking him online have a money interest involved in this. Wait till you see how fucked up this gets. I knew this was a fucked up case. It gets more effed up by the minute. Wait till you see the people that were defending the girl Maria that lied about him being the father. Wait till you see what they have involved with the biological father, the real father.
Results that he wasn't the dad. And Hadley said I would immediately call him and tell him to get his down here and do another DNA test in front of me. Because I know they're his kids. But what does Maria do? For the first time ever, she's quiet. So I pushed my video to my 100 followers.
We got her, boys.
Yep, she's quiet.
We got her, boys. Yeah. We got it.
First, only to clear my name. I don't mention Hadley's name at all, and I keep the baby's identity hidden. Then the messages start rolling in. Shortly after, I'm served with a restraining order, and they're demanding I take down all my posts. And that's when they take the opportunity to start twisting the narrative online. And while I'm sorry,
Isn't that interesting? She was able to still go get a restraining order, even though he has DNA proof that he isn't the father. He still has to take his post down that clear his name, because that's all he's trying to do. He's not shaming her. He's not attacking her. He's just trying to clear his name because she's been able to go online and say whatever she wanted about him, and he had to keep quiet because he knew he was working on this case, right? So even afterwards, the court will still be so biased towards the women and use the court as an enforcement arm for the women to abuse the men, so much so that even after he can prove by DNA testing that he's not 0% the father, 0% chance he's the father, he's still the one that has to take his post down that tries to clear his name.
Months, I start unraveling the truth about everyone in Maria's web of loss. First up on the list is Miss Vietnam. We thought Amanda was just Maria's best friend, but then she tries to ruin our lives. Turns out she's been protecting a secret that she knew from the very beginning.
Oh, fucking, what a coincidence.
Amanda posted that Hadley lost custody of her kids. Completely false. And instead of fact-checking, she tagged Hadley publicly like she's proud of them. Hadley responds kindly and just tells her the truth. Amanda lost it. That's when she started going off in the DMs. Hadley just doesn't respond. And then it gets worse. She starts posting her address online and threatening Hadley. She started sending Hadley her own address and threatening her to show up. And then she actually shows up to a gas station and tries to fight us.
That's fun. What did we do?
And just when we thought it couldn't get any worse, that's when someone called their business.
Can we interest you in a fishing charter?
Say it again, tough guy.
Hey, where you at, man? Why don't you come find me, man?
No, you
I called you.
Say it again. I know, say it again. I just want to be clear. Say it again. So what did you call me again?
I called you what you know you are.
No.
Motherfucking cordial.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, where you at?
This is who we're dealing with. And it wasn't just Amanda and Hadley's DMs. It was her husband, Julian, and mine too. Threatening to fight me over a baby that wasn't even mine. She told Hadley that she was going to call the nursing board. She said that she was absolutely coming for her livelihood. And then bragged about making a TikTok just to expose Hadley's personal information.
All of this for what? For one woman to avoid accountability for bad decisions that she was making?
This is why her friends, quote unquote, her friends, were sticking up for her, trying to say he was lying about having the baby, being the baby's father, after he'd taken 2 DNA tests. Come to find out, the real baby daddy is a business partner of that guy that was just on the screen. And he was married at the time. This shit is ridiculous.
Obviously, he made a bad decision too, but his saving grace is the fact that he isn't the father, so he can alleviate himself of some of the responsibility, even though he had a lot of consequences involved, of course. But all of this just because one woman doesn't want to be accountable for sleeping around town and begging men randomly to have children with her. It's very interesting.
I made one video, not to call anyone out, just to clear her name.
I'm ready to address this search bar that's been on all my videos. I did not lose custody of any of my kids, and none of them have a disability.
Then Maria says this and sends Hadley a cease and desist, just for defending herself. She never said Amanda's name, not once. But Amanda told her, I'm not going to stop, period, take the video down. At this point, we stopped seeing Amanda and Julian just as Maria's loyal friends, because it really didn't make sense anymore. Why were they this personally invested? Because we had the court-ordered DNA test back at this time. So why were they still going so hard over a lie? And just like we did with Maria's cousin Michelle, we went full FBI mode. We got quite the laugh out of these, and then we found this one. And that's when we realized that Julian and...
Let's check this one out.
Then we found this one. And that...
Amanda Skelton, Julian Skelton, and others. I'm so proud of Julian. This has been such a long journey, and y'all deserve to relish in the glory of this first trip. I mean, look at that boat. Would ya? Cheers. Y'all have fun, boys. His business partner is the real baby daddy. That's why they were trying to cover for fucking Maria and trying to make it look like this dude was the baby's father, even though he's taken 2 paternity tests that clear his name. And the real baby's father was married at the time, going through a divorce. And if it came out, it makes me sick. It makes me sick. If it came out that him as a married man fathered a child with Maria, his wife would be able to, or his soon-to-be ex-wife, would be able to take everything from him. And rightfully so. I don't go for that cheating bullshit.
That's when we realized that Julian and the guy that everybody's telling us is Maria's real baby daddy, they weren't just friends, they were business partners. We realized that when Maria got pregnant, that man was married with a baby at home. And in Mississippi, if your spouse can prove infidelity, they can take everything. The house, the kids, and the business. So if that ever came out, it wouldn't just be that guy's life on the
It would have been like
It would
Zilla.
also be Julian and Amanda's too. So that's why they came after us. Not because we lied, because they always knew the truth. They weren't just defending a lie, they helped build it. And they've been trying to protect it ever since.
Disgusting.
The deeper we dug, the more we realized this isn't even the whole story.
Nope.
Not even close.
Yeah, so there you go, guys. I'm assuming he got more updates, but this story is absolutely insane.
Crazy.
And all of this because one woman doesn't want to be accountable.
All because a woman doesn't want to be accountable. All because a woman doesn't want to be accountable. All because a woman doesn't want to be accountable and be honest about sleeping with multiple men. And the courts continue to not believe a paternity test. I can't wait to see where this goes. I'm going to keep my eye out on this case as I have throughout the whole thing. But fucking nuts. Nuts. But hopefully Maria is going to fuck around and find out real soon. And the people that tried to throw this poor kid under the bus are fucking around and finding out as it progresses. I love it. There's been a lot of shit the last few days that kind of make me a little bit glad things are happening. Like, you got that dude Vitali. He's like real popular on the internet for like doing disrespectful shit to people out in public, like a real life troll. I think he's over in Thailand or something, somewhere over in the Far East. He's facing like 50 years because he's fucked around with police officers, messed around with people trying to do their jobs. He like trolls on the internet doing like shit like Jack Doherty. They're throwing him in jail. He's sitting in a fucking jail that is very bad right now. And I think it's good. I'm so sick of fucking people in the real world and people on the internet thinking they can do this shit. And it's cool. Like it's totally cool. It's cool to be a troll. It's funny. Haha. It's not. Back in the day, you could punch people in the face for that shit. Nowadays, you take a chance. Fucking wild. Wild. I got another fuck around and find out right now as well. An illegal influencer that I shown you guys previously has been deported. He fucked around and found out as well. And I love this one. Love this one. Please like, share, subscribe. Wait till you see this one. This illegal immigrant was talking shit, waving money, saying how Americans are stupid, how he don't got to work all these hours to get more money than us. He was getting paid off of TikTok, making fun of Americans, how stupid we were, and how he was playing the system. Well, he found his ass back on a plane to Venezuela this week. And I'm going to show you that video right now.
Hey, remember this story about the Migrant King, a.k.a. the Migrant...
The Migrant King, a.k.a. the Migrant Influencer. This one's fucking great. Unfortunately, hi Lisa, salute. Please like, share, subscribe. So this social media illegal migrant influencer was just deported. Wait till you see how this fucking went. This is laughable. It's sad, but it's laughable. It's sad that American taxpayers got fucked over by this asshole for as long as they did. But he's back in fucking Venezuela, and his baby mom and his kid should be back there with him, but they're not just yet. But he fucked around and find out. Let's check out this one.
Influencer, aka Lionel Moreno.
In his most recent controversial TikTok video, Moreno is telling his followers to avoid living on the streets in the United States. They can, quote, invade empty homes and live there, saying under U.S. law, if a house is uninhabited, it can be seized, referring to squatting rights in our country. That video garnered almost 4 million views.
Well, that guy has now been officially deported back to Venezuela.
Bye-bye. Shout out to
the man you see on
shout out to Nate the lawyer for putting this video together. Check his channel out. Yeah, they pick and choose, Lisa. Same reason I go from having 100,000 people on my fucking show to nobody. Or tens of thousands daily to nobody. It's getting bad. There's big YouTube channels going through it too, not just mine. A lot of YouTubers have been speaking out about it lately. But this asshole's back in Venezuela. Wait till you see how quick he changed his tune. He ends up in tears by the end of it. I love it.
screen is Lionel Moreno. He is a Venezuelan migrant. Now, Moreno entered the United States on April 23, 2022, claiming he needed asylum from the country of Venezuela. Now, Moreno was not deported back to Venezuela, but allowed to stay in the United States. Now, after crossing to the United States, Moreno and his wife went into Canada. Now, when Moreno and his family got to Canada, Canada didn't provide them with hotels or asylum support like they do in places like New York, where they give you credit cards and free hotel stays.
Here's something we followed a lot. Cash grab for migrants. New York City officials dramatically expanding a controversial program which would give another round of prepaid debit cards to 7,300 migrants over the next 6 months, costing the city upwards of $2.6 million. Now, the program previously gave these cards to 3,000 migrants.
Yeah, so Moreno's like, Canada is not looking out for us like they are in the U.S. Hell, they're just giving out money down there. So he brought his family to the United States from Canada. Imagine that. Canada wasn't good enough for Moreno. He wanted to get back to the U.S. of A.
Yeah,
so
he wants that free money.
Came back. In their interview with Immigration and Customs Enforcement Service, they said that they had crossed over into 12 different countries before reaching the United States. Now, after being released into the United States, Moreno was enrolled in ICE's Alternative to Detention program. Now, this requires him to report to the Enforcement and Removal Operations Office within 60 days of arriving, and then he would have to get a hearing about his asylum claim. Now, Moreno, however, disappeared and never showed up to any of the hearings or any of the appointments. So he was deemed an illegal immigrant. Now, Moreno gained a huge following on TikTok and Instagram and encouraged migrants to start doing some crazy things, like invade people's homes. He said that you can squat in abandoned homes and take them over. You don't have to live on the streets, and it's America. So Americans are too stupid to do anything about it.
An influencer on TikTok appears to be trying to put others on game on how to take over U.S. homes and use squatters' rights. Lionel Moreno, who appears to be a Venezuelan migrant, posted a video to the platform telling followers that
I'm so glad this piece of shit got thrown back to Venezuela. This dude's a piece of shit. I covered him during the summer. He told people how to play the system, how to abuse American taxpayers, how they could get away with squatting in homes in certain areas I'm so glad this asshole got deported. Wait till you see this whole video. This motherfucker ends up in tears by the end. Wait till you see the shit and the money this guy made. Between getting benefits while being in the US, plus making a ton of money off TikTok. He made a ton of fucking money off TikTok. Tried to buy guns, went and bought guns or acted like he was buying guns. By the end of it, he's in tears, crying that they're trying to hurt him. This gangster, this tough guy, ends up crying that everyone's out to get him. Funny, wait till you see the end of it. This is fucking beautiful.
In Spanish, if a house is not inhabited, no one's living there, we can seize it. How much weight does this claim hold?
Now, because we're Americans and because even if you come here illegally, we don't want you to starve on the street with your family, the government gives you benefits. They'll give you food stamps. They'll give you some money for housing. They'll give you welfare benefits. And Moreno enjoyed all of those benefits. Matter of fact, he made videos flaunting all the benefit he gets from the federal government as an illegal migrant.
Moreno regularly shares on social media how he scams the system to receive money from the federal government, food stamps, and shows his social security card in posts that we've reviewed. He claims that his wife and daughter receive $350 a month from the federal government and often flaunts the food and aid that they receive through the funding from these federal programs.
Now, as you can see, Moreno is living the good life.
Funny, you got people that are going to war for this country, and you got people that have worked their entire lives that can't get a fucking dollar, don't even get $350 in the tax return, and him and his old lady and his kid that weren't born here get $350 a month from Social Security. They've never paid a fucking dollar into it. Plus all the other money they're getting for being migrants. Plus this TikTok money. How do you collect Social Security and you're making thousands of dollars a week on TikTok? I'd love to know how that fucking works.
On American taxpayer dime. And we haven't even talked about the money he's making off TikTok. He was making so much money, he decided to show people how stupid the American system is. He can make thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars on social media and still get welfare benefits and throw it in everyone's face because we, as Americans, are reportedly stupid.
Es que yo facture más que ustedes sin necesidad de andar.
I'm going to read what he says. If this don't piss you off, you're a moron.
Are reportedly stupid.
Es que yo facture.
Migrant influencer can't afford lawyer despite waving wads of cash on TikTok. The thing is that I make more than you without having to work. Like slaves. Got it? That's the difference. He makes more money than you and gets welfare, and he don't got to do a fucking thing. And that's the difference between us and him. We're stupid, and he's smarter than all of us. He said he's always going to make more money without working a lot. I'm always going to make more money without a lot of work. Talking shit with his fucking kid that wasn't even born here. Fucking disgusting. I'm so glad this asshole's back in Venezuela. I hope they find him in a fucking ditch.
Then even after that, Moreno started flexing his...
And now he tries to say he's got Second Amendment rights. Oh yeah, he wants to go buy guns. Watch this shit.
Second Amendment rights because he was in the U.S. Now, here is where things fell apart. See, Moreno isn't a citizen, and unfortunately for him, he doesn't have Second Amendment rights. See, remember how earlier I told you how when Moreno came into the country, they gave him 60 days to check in, and he didn't check in, so now essentially he was illegally here and on the run. Now, for those of you who love the Second Amendment, you know that there are two groups of people who cannot own firearms or even possess firearms in the United States. Those are illegal immigrants and felons.
Mi gente, como ciudadano americano, puedo obtener un arma. Capichi. Y bueno, he estado pendiente de comprarme un R15 o una glotona. Capichi. Miren los precios, papi, de esta belleza. $1,000.
So he's on welfare, but he's making thousands of dollars a week on TikTok. He's not a citizen, never went to any of his court dates to become a citizen, and is looking into buying guns. These guns aren't cheap. He's looking at buying an AR-15 or a 9mm. An AR-15, a good one, is going to cost you several $1,000s, I would assume. At least $1,500. But he told you, we're all fucking losers, and he's got it going on. He don't got to work. He can just do his TikTok and get welfare. And he can squat in someone's home, and there's nothing we could do about it. Boy, was he fucking wrong. Wait till you see the end of it. This tough guy getting ready to buy an AR-15 and a 9mm is going to be crying like a little bitch by the end.
$700, $600, $800 y $500. Miren esta preciosura, muchachos. Les recuerdo que en Estados Unidos tienes que andar armado por tu seguridad.
The United States is dangerous. You have to be armed for your safety. Boys, I remind you that in the United States, you have to be armed for your safety. But you left Venezuela because it was so dangerous. Only reason he left Venezuela was for a free payday. And his ass is back in Venezuela now. I fucking love it. I love it. Wait till you see the end. This motherfucker got humbled. Rightfully so.
Seguridad, como les seguía diciendo, solamente nosotros los ciudadanos americanos podemos.
He's not even a citizen. Oh, I need protection. I'm a citizen. Citizens can carry gun in the United States.
Portar arma en Estados Unidos con licencia.
With a license and with citizenship. He never went to one hearing to become a citizen. He dodged every court hearing to be a fucking he's an asylum seeker. The motherfucker ain't seeking asylum. He's trying to buy AR-15s and 9mm, and he's telling people how stupid they are in America, how he gets welfare and makes thousands of dollars a week off TikTok and squats in homes that are vacant, that someone's paying a mortgage on, or taxes at least. Don't you worry, Billy Badass gets his.
Y con prevención. Le voy a mostrar este tipo de armas que son las glotonas. Pero miren lo que tengo por aquí. Las armas largas. Las puedes obtener en una tienda normal como esto ahorita.
He says, look at what I'm around. Now I can walk into a normal store and get a big long gun. I already got my brochure. He's not even a fucking citizen.
Propaganda y miren.
On top of that, Moreno was on parole because he never checked in with ICE, so they were after him. Now, the United States has what's known as the Gun Control Act, which prohibits people on parole, like Moreno, from possessing, shipping, transporting, or even receiving firearms or ammunition. So all these pictures of Moreno possessing firearms and ammunition didn't go down real well with the feds. So it seems like an open and shut case for the feds. We got someone who's here illegally, can continuously breaking laws, let's just put a warrant out for his arrest and deport him.
Bye-bye.
So that's what the feds did, and Moreno didn't like that too much. Matter of fact, he went on Instagram and started begging for mercy.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Now he's going to cry alligator tears. He's a victim. He needs protection. They're coming to get him. Bad people want him and his family. Sure they do. No, people are onto your bullshit. And thank God we got a president that ain't going for it no more. Thank God.
Estoy en peligro de muerte en United States. Necesito protección.
I'm being persecuted in the United States. I need protection. Bad people want to hurt me and my family.
Estados Unidos. Me está persiguiendo.
They are chasing me.
Me han bloqueado mi cuenta parece.
My account on TikTok has been blocked. Oh my God, I can't make thousands of dollars to make America look like a fucking shit, a load of shit. Oh my God, I'm not making all my money from TikTok. Oh my God, I'm not getting no more money because there's a warrant for my arrest. Because I'm here illegally for trying to buy guns. And I never went to any of my court dates. Because the law doesn't apply to me, I thought. There are open arrests in New York for me. Oh my goodness.
Nueva York, y yo no estoy en Nueva York.
And I'm not in New York. I'm crying. They want me in New York, but I'm not in New York. Oh, adios mío. I need you to pay attention to what is happening. Because my family is in danger. I don't even see him crying tears. Fucking, I'm gonna replay it all in full. I just want you guys to know what he's saying. You are in great danger, boy. Fucking ridiculous. Delete me from the text door. The other one too. I have received many threats from powerful people. Fuck out of here.
Muchacho, ayuda, por favor.
Please help me. My family is in danger. Fuck out of here.
Muchacho, por favor, ayúdenme. Es increíble, muchacho, pero sí.
It's incredibly scary, but there are people looking for me and where I stay. Fuck this asshole. See you later, fuckface. I'm gonna play it all at one time to see how much of a fraud this dude is.
Matter of fact, he went on Instagram and started begging for mercy.
Right, Cypher?
Necesito protección en Estados Unidos. Me está persiguiendo. Me han bloqueado mi cuenta parece de secciones abiertas en Nueva York y yo no estoy
Not one tear. Not one real tear.
Mi gente, necesito que estén pendientes de lo que está pasando. Porque mi familia corre peligro. Corre mucho peligro, muchachos. Me borraron la cuenta de TikTok y la otra también. He recibido muchas amenazas de gente poderosa, muchachos. Muchachos.
What a fucking joke.
Ayuda, por favor. Mi familia está en peligro.
Oh, it's so dangerous. Ah, muy peligro.
Muchacho, por favor.
I'm not your muchacho, motherfucker. See ya. Adios, amigo.
Pero sí, hay gente entra buscándome y quiere hacerme daño y a mi familia.
Oh, Dios mío.
This is where things get complicated. See, Moreno was scheduled to be deported under President Joe Biden, but there was a problem. See, Venezuela stopped accepting any deportees from the United States, even if you came through Mexico, for instance. So even though Moreno had done all these horrible things, they couldn't deport him to Venezuela because Venezuela wasn't taking anybody back. Then President Biden goes out, Trump comes in, and Venezuela had a change of heart.
Of course they did.
Move on now to the immigration crackdown. Venezuela is set to resume accepting U.S. deportation flights. This is after the Trump administration sent hundreds of Venezuelans to a notorious prison in El Salvador, and as the administration remains locked in a standoff with a federal judge over the issue.
Tonight, Venezuela resumes accepting U.S. deportation flights, reversing course after the Trump administration invoked a wartime law from 1790 to deport hundreds of Venezuelan migrants with little or no due process. Those migrants now in a notorious prison in El Salvador. Venezuela's government saying, we will not rest until we achieve the return of all those in need and rescue our brothers kidnapped in El Salvador.
Okay, so Venezuela turned around and said, we're going to take our people back, and I'll let you send them to an El Salvadorian prison. So one of the first flights and one of the first people was our boy, the Migrant King. He was on the first thing smoking back to Venezuela.
Look at two. Changed his whole look, grew an afro. This motherfucker knows what he's doing. He grew his hair out so he wouldn't be detected. He probably did a lot of bad shit in his in Venezuela where he's got to worry.
Campaña fue para que los venezolanos fuesen señalados en el mundo de ser delincuentes.
Me too, Cypher.
Muchos de los que estaban allí venían bravos. Desde el primer momento hubo que prestarle una seguridad especial, aparte lo pusieron, porque estaban muy disgustados los otros pasajeros, los otros compañeros que venían. Lo que hemos dicho, ojalá que se reencuentren, entren en lo que de alguna manera tiene una conducta que no es la mejor, se recuperen espiritualmente y sean capaces de comenzar de nuevo. Eso es posible si son recibidos amorosamente en sus familias, en casa de su familia. Y sus familias están acá para ayudarlos.
Now, Moreno had to be put in protective custody because the other migrants who were being deported with him blamed Moreno for bringing attention to the whole migrant crisis and getting Americans so upset where they were all being deported out of the country.
You got blamed for it all.
In jail, the New York Post spoke to Moreno, who wailed about being unjustly persecuted.
New York Post. Brazen migrant influencer makes me sick. Makes me sick, I'm sorry. Migrant influencer who flashed cash urged other illegals to squat in U.S. homes deported to Venezuela after causing uproar on flight. While in jail, Moreno spoke to the Post and wailed about being a victim of unjust persecution.
Here in the United States. They quote him as saying,
He says, I came here to the United States because of persecution in my country, but they're doing the same to me in the U.S. What a fucking idiot. Delusional idiot. Persecuting me. I'm the victim. Robbing taxpayers, trying to buy guns, making thousands on fucking TikTok. Go fuck yourself, Moreno.
To the United States because of persecution in my country, Venezuela. But they're doing the same thing to me in the United States, persecuting me.
He probably doesn't want to go back home because he got himself in a bunch of shit there. A lot of those people that left these countries, they had it out for them in their own country. Now they're all getting deported and they're getting taken right off the plane into fucking jail for the shit they did in their own land. Good.
Moreno moaned. Moreno continued, it's all misinformation in the media about me. They're defaming me. They're misrepresenting me in the news. I am a good father, a good husband, a good son, a good person, humble, respectful to people who respect me, he added. So what...
Can you imagine the balls on this dude to say he's humble? He was on TikTok waving thousands of dollars he made being an illegal immigrant from welfare and making tons of money on TikTok, bragging about everything he's doing, bragging about staying in homes he don't pay for. But he's a humble, great father and good person. Fucking delusion personified. But you got these liberal idiots that continue to fight for these people. Fucking morons. They probably do the same thing as well. That's why they feel like these people are victims. We're going to look into the baby boomers a little bit more today, too. And the fucking narcissism and bullshit they've caused that I've been talking about for over a year.
How do you feel about the story of Moreno? Now, his wife and child are still here in the United States while he is in Venezuela. So, how does that fit into how you feel about this story?
She don't give a fuck. She's chilling. She's still here. She ain't worried about dude. He don't know it, but he's a fucking sucker, too. He's getting played. And they should boot her and the kid the fuck out, too. Because I'm sure she didn't make any of her fucking court appointments. Maybe she did. Maybe I'm wrong. But she should go fucking, too. She was part of this.
Personally, I think Moreno is a victim of his own success. He wanted to be a TikTok star. He wanted to be a YouTube star. He did all this. He got the attention. But unfortunately, it was negative attention. And when he started making fun of this great country, helping him and his family, feeding them, then I think he had to go back to Venezuela. And his argument that he's being persecuted here is not accurate. He came here illegally. He committed multiple crimes while here. And now they're sending you back home. So I don't know what more he wants. Now, I know my friends on the left are going to say, well, they broke up this family.
Oh, they broke up a family. Fuck you. They're ruining America. They're ruining American families that could use that fucking money, you stupid bastards. Let them come live with you. You pay for their fucking spending. Taxpayers shouldn't have to. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Disgusting. Let's check out some Anton Daniels. Boomers failed us, sold out America. Another young influencer has said, or younger. I've been saying this shit for the last fucking 5-6 years. I've known it since I was a kid. Every generation before the people from the 1980s has been sold out by the previous generation. And it's pretty much all liberal politicians. There was more Democrats elected since 1990 than Republicans, I want to say. It's pretty close. But the spending under fucking under Democrats, especially over the last 4 years before Trump, really fucking sealed our fate. And I don't understand, like, they point the finger at Trump and people that voted for him. Where do you think this money's going to come from? People think all this shit, all these programs are free, giving out millions and trillions of dollars around the world. Who do you think is paying for that shit? And they still continue to blast Trump over his tariffs. But inflation went down almost 2% in a month. Pretty damn good. First time since Corona. But they'll keep telling you how bad tariffs are for Americans. Listen, Americans allowed spending. Americans voted Biden in, allegedly. Everyone was cool with spending all this money thinking they were going to get off for free. You pay one way or the other. Whether it's taxes, inflation, or both. Now it's both. But check this out. And the reason I brought this up. Excuse me. Oh, I didn't sleep well last night, and I worked out today. A little bit. I went and got a iced coffee today with a buddy of mine before I went and shot some hoops. And while he was on the phone dealing with some business stuff, I hear this contractor complaining, and it's an older guy, about how one of his jobs isn't going to get finished on time and he's losing it. Driving around a brand new, beautiful truck. And you can tell he just subcontracts type deal. Complaining how they're making all his laborers and all the guys he used are all getting deported. Well, yeah, you've been making money off slave labor and not giving Americans jobs. You think you can't, like, you're destroying America and yourself little by little. And then I ran into this video today and it was like, wow. Like, I knew I wasn't fucking losing it. I wanted to tell the guy when I overheard him talking to his buddy, like, dude, what did you think was going to happen? You've made your money off illegal immigrants forever, paying them peanuts, destroying America, ruining the dollar. And now it's a fucking problem. And I know people that support Trump that did that shit for years. They're just as much to blame. I have family members like that. Had nothing but illegal aliens working for him, making a ton of money for him. And now fucking want every illegal out. Fucking nuts. I'm so sick of baby boomers. Ugh. And they still hold power in government more than any age group. They really gotta fucking go.
At some point, we need to have a conversation about what to do with the boomers. Recently, I was talking with a boomer builder who told me that when he first started...
Same thing. This kid talks about the same thing I heard today. This is fucking wild. It was like an aha moment. Like, I knew it. I knew it wasn't just me. I've known this for years.
I think at some point we need to have a conversation about what to do with the boomers. Recently, I was talking with a boomer builder who told me that when he first started, he hired out a bunch of cheap foreign labor. Somebody told him, one day these people will run you out of business. And his response was, well, at least by then I'll be gone. And this attitude right here is what has led us to where we're at right now. Boomers are the first generation to have pulled the ladder up from behind them. They do not care about the youth. They do not care about the next generation. They think they're lazy, and they don't think they work as hard to gain equity on a shed worth millions that they could have bought for a penny. Yep. In fact, it was King Hezekiah who said, at least there'll be peace in my days, when Isaiah told him that Judah would be destroyed because of his actions. And if there's any attitude that can sum up an entire generation, it's that right there. But I don't think they're ready for that conversation yet.
I agree with them wholeheartedly. I 100% agree with them.
Me too.
And it actually harkens back to several videos that I've done over the years.
It's the same reason boomers sell their homes that they paid fucking $30,000 for $500,000 now. Crazy. My father used to talk like that, and my mother, when my dad was still alive, like, we ain't leaving you guys shit. We're spending it all. Good luck. Fucked up. Fucked up. Fucked up. If there's one thing I don't want to do is end up successful by fucking people over and leaving the next generation with my fucking debt. And that's what every generation has done up until about the people born in the 80s have had it the worst because they had it happen to them at a young age. I don't know. I've never seen so many people over 40 that never owned a home because it's not feasible if you're the average person. It hasn't been. And now, forget about it. I don't know how you even afford to fucking rent in some places. Unless you want to just fucking kiss your life away. You're just gonna work nonstop, and it's not even a home. It's not even a home. It's a shitty little rinky-dink apartment. When you're probably gonna end up single, or if you do end up with someone, you're not gonna be able to have kids because you can't afford them if you're responsible, or having the expense of living and just fucking scaring the fuck out of everyone.
Where I said that the generations before me are the ones that failed us. Now, I'm going to expand the conversation a lot more, and shout out to him because I always like to give credit to the content creators. So I'm definitely going to link back to him in the description of the video if you want to go and check out more of his content, because I always believe that you should give credit to the content creators, regardless of what.
I do too. So check out What We Do About Boomers. I don't know if he's on YouTube, or on Instagram, but check him out. But talk about a generation that made out like bandits and pulled the ladder up and left their kids and grandkids to fucking squalor and major financial ruins.
Whether you agree with him or not. So that'll be down in the description. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. And then also Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. That basically means is that you're on the tail end, or is it the beginning? Basically, you're at the very beginning of whatever it is generation that you are. So I am a geriatric millennial in that I was born in 1982. As of today, the recording of this video, as a matter of fact, I am 43 years old. So my birthday is April 13th, 1982. So I'm an 80s babies, 90s made me and raised me. And then we really capitalized in the 2000s, 2010s, and then we live in our best life in the 2020s. So I've always believed that the things that you did in your youth, or as you continue to grow up in your 20s and the 30s, are the things that's going to carry with you exponentially. Either you're going to go all the way this way, or you're going to go all the way that way. Either you're going to get really rich, or you're going to just be very middling, almost poor, don't really have no retirement. So I don't really think it's any middle anymore. The middle class is now hollowed out, and that is largely at the behest of the boomers. The boomers, as he indicated in that video, is the generation, the first generation that truly pulled the ladder up behind them. And what that means is, whether you talk about relationships, whether you're talking about economics, you talk about unions, you talk about the times that we really had an opportunity to capitalize and make sure that we made America first. If you want to talk about tethering themselves to the federal government and truly giving up their households, losing control when it comes to masculinity. I think that the most failed generation that I can think of personally in this modern era has to be boomers, because they had all the opportunity in the world. And when I say all the opportunity in the world, they were the first generation to truly be able to capitalize. And I'm talking about unionize, making wages, being able to control their neighborhoods, bringing up their communities. But instead, what they did was, they did what Clinton and the Bushes before him. They did was they truly pushed illegal migration into this country. They didn't control the borders. They never voted the right way. They sold out America by allowing for our jobs to be shipped overseas. And instead, they took the quick payout. The early money, and then they got rid of all of our jobs. They sold out everything. I mean, white men, black men, all across the board. They allowed for their women to become feminists. They hijacked the civil rights movement. If you really think about all of the crack babies, if you think about the generation that allowed the government to continue to flood our markets with crack and pharmaceuticals, opioid crisis, meth crisis, when you think about all of these things that has happened and them falling asleep at the wheel, not caring, not
the biggest sellout generation ever,
not truly being transformational, but instead they just partied, they had a good time, they poured the ladder up behind them. This was the generation that truly leveraged immigrants, illegal migrants to build their houses, to build their companies, and they did not care. They didn't give any information. They didn't let the ladder down behind them. They are the ones that failed their son.
And look at how many of them support the Democratic Party. Why do you think people like in the Democratic Party that do well, are mad about immigration. They're losing money because they got to pay an American what he's fucking worth. I don't know how Democrats, if they're for like human rights, support illegal immigration and people being fucked over to work for pennies so they can make a fucking buck. And a lot of these people vote Trump now acting like they didn't take part in it. I got family members like that. Fucking hypocrites. Hypocrites. Made millions off of the fucking sweat and blood of fucking illegal immigrants or people here with a work visa. Fucking barely paying them what they're fucking worth. Disgusting. And all that money those people were making, they sent back home. Most of them are back home and they're millionaires now. And they deserve it. Whether it's right or wrong or not, they came here, they worked their asses off, they took the money and run. I would have done the same fucking thing. They were getting used up in America, but in their own country, they're fucking millionaires. But this is the things that cause fucking problems with inflation and welfare and taxpayer money and why people don't want to fucking go to work for some fucking scumbag anymore.
A lot of them often at times abandon their families. And I'm not just talking about the men. I'm also talking about the women. The women had a lot of children out of wedlock. The women also had a lot of children that was not grandpas. They had families on the side. They did some of the worst things. And now, and this is biblical, scripture, the children are the ones that pay for the sins of their fathers. So now that you see what is happening in society today, you can directly tie it back to it. A lot of them, obviously, we're not talking about all. Obviously, we're not talking about all. But you can tie a lot of what we're dealing with today, what we're trying to undo today, directly to their generation. And I hate to say it, I hate to just hold them accountable, but a lot of your sons and a lot of y'all daughters, y'all gave up their autonomy, y'all allowed for this, you know, when you talk about the Obamas, when you're talking about, you know, all of those people that came before them, the Bill Clintons and stuff, this liberal view, these liberal ways, y'all tied each other to the Democrat plantation, and y'all allowed for the Democrats to continue to go so far left, because the Democrat Party today is not even the Democrat Party of yesteryear.
Nope.
It's not the Democrat Party when I grew up.
Nope.
It's not the Democrat Party that was in place when I was able to first vote, you know? And so what I'm seeing and how I'm seeing this play out is it's unfortunate, because we can literally lay a lot of this at their feet. Now, this does not mean, because I don't want you running into Victim Olympics, but this does not mean that we should not take ownership and accountability for who we are, because I see a lot of men today, they not having children out of wedlock. Now we got our different whole nother problem with our women, but advocated for the feminist movement, advocated for my body, my choice, advocated for Planned Parenthood, advocated for some of the worst things that we see happening in society today. They built their companies on the backs of immigrants and didn't leave any crumbs, any trail, or any seeds for us to be able to plant these money trees.
And that's another thing too. Feminism was huge. You can blame the baby boomers for the way women behave today, partially. Society's getting ready to collapse. Sorry, my allergies are killing me. Society is going to collapse if people don't wake the fuck up. That's why I continue to make these videos, even though YouTube hates them. Even though I get limited views at this point, hopefully I can wake up a couple people. If I can wake up one, it's all worth it. You got lesbians that don't even want to date women anymore. Women have become so toxic. I got a video for that coming up. And the reason I'm stopping right now is so I don't forget about it. Give it back to the
next generation.
You got lesbians that don't want to deal with women. What does that fucking tell you? If men don't want to deal with women and lesbians don't want to deal with women, what the fuck's next? Women can't have children without men. Unless you go to the fucking sperm bank. But I'm serious. There's like a huge thing where like lesbians have been speaking out, being like, I get why you guys don't date no more. I'm going to show you a video on it right now. Feminism.
Let me ask you something.
They don't need a man. They don't think they need a man for anything. It's fucking retarded. It makes me fucking sick. And they laugh about it. Like, ha, we'll just scissor each other to death.
As a lesbian.
Yes.
Because I know a lot of gay guys that are romantic with another guy.
Yeah.
And they break up and they remain friends for the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm.
But I have not heard that happening with women.
Would you like to know why?
Yes.
Because we're women. And you answered your own question. Because imagine, if you will.
Yes.
You're a lesbian.
Yes.
Which is what? A woman. And you're with another woman, lesbian or not.
Yes.
Now we're two women together.
Okay.
What does that mean? Hell. Why? because you're two, I say this about gay men, are two men,
right?
Unfettered men together without a woman to civilize them. So now we have fucking and holes through walls, and we do every sexual thing we want because we don't have women around to civilize us.
But we're smart enough to know that we're both successful. We're going to stay married forever. But and that's men. And we're going to be richer than ever because we're going to form companies together. But we're still going to have some fun with some dudes on the side. But it won't mean anything because we're really life partners. But women,
can you imagine?
No way. I know.
Imagine. Women cannot
just
have
like, bye, Peter. Have fun at your orgy.
No, you would. No, we can't.
Just,
we can't handle the responsibility of that. We can't handle the weight of that. We're threatened. We're jealous. We're insecure. We're codependent. We're women.
Check me if I'm wrong, but it's something going on out here, and I don't know if it's my algorithm per se or what, but like. It's a lot of studs that's going back to men. I'm seeing a lot of content about women telling their stories about how they going back to men because women are just too wicked out here. Like, these women aren't just, they're not over their gay phases and they're just like, okay, fun's over. Like, nah, I really do like women. I want to take a woman serious, but you know what? These women are so wicked out here, bro. Like, if I'm going to be with a being, I might as well just pick the lesser out of two evils.
Yeah, it really is the lesser of two evils, because when you look at the statistics on LGBTQ relationships, the women who date women, lesbian women, have the highest rates of domestic violence and the highest rates of divorce.
There you
at
go.
About 75%. And the reasons for why they divorce is the same reasons for why they divorce men. It's just at a higher rate. So it's really interesting to see that even when women date women, oftentimes there's a bigger issue amongst those marriages. And I think that this just directly quantifies the fact that it has to be a lot of the modern women in the relationships. Because if it wasn't the modern women, why, even when women date other women, do they have higher rates of everything that women consider to be bad in a relationship? Divorce and domestic violence. So I think it is a really interesting statistic to see that amongst lesbian relationships, you get higher rates of both of those things, while amongst gay relationships, as in men and dating men or marrying men, they're both lower. There's lower levels of domestic violence and lower likelihood of divorce. So I think
these women are toxic.
And they going back to men. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm seeing enough content that's pertaining to that. And it's just like, ladies, this ain't a wake-up call to y'all to get y'all stuff together. This ain't a wake-up call to tighten up and maybe heal and be better people. Like, guys is saying the same thing about y'all. Studs is saying the same thing about y'all. And studs are women too, just in case y'all forgot. Like, other women with sense and other men are saying the same thing about y'all. Y'all don't want to get y'all stuff together? Because I know me being done wrong by women, I know that incentivized me to be a better woman, because I don't want to cause nobody, man or woman, hurt that a woman did me, because that pain is a pain.
Yep.
Like, women be ruthless.
Yep.
with they joint. Like, a man can hurt you, but a woman will hurt you even more, dog. Like,
And it's way easier for a woman to move on. There's always some dude that will put up with her shit. Or there's always someone. A woman gets 85,000 chances. A man, you're just a fucking loser. Oh, he's a fucking loser. She left him, he's a loser. These women can run through men like crazy. But it's always the guy's fault. Oh yeah, he did this, he did that. The guy don't even say nothing bad about her. He's just like, yeah, it ended bad. It was fucked up. I'm done.
It's just like, y'all are savages. I ain't gonna hold you. And
you know, one of the interesting things I've noticed, like with lesbians or women or studs in general, like so the lesbian women that dress like men, is in the African American community, they always dress like street dudes. You get what I'm saying? So it's like the women who even know what women like, they tend to dress like street dudes. You never really see a stud in the black community that's dressed in like a suit or an upstanding citizen. They always dress like hood dudes. It's probably because they know in the African American community, a lot of the women gravitate towards that look. Right, so I just think that that's really interesting. I've noticed that amongst the studs in the African American community, they always dress like a specific type of man. They don't just dress like men; they dress like a specific type of man in order to attract the women that they want. I always thought that was interesting.
y'all do it with such no remorse. Like, y'all just shrug y'all shoulders about it, like, all right, whatever. Like no remorse.
Yep.
Nothing. It's just like,
I know that shit firsthand.
Man, woo! I can't even put it in words. I gotta make a sound effect to describe some of y'all's wickedness, dog. Like,
yep.
Man, like, y'all know how bad of a person you gotta be, how bad of a relationship partner you gotta be to make somebody consider doing a whole 180 in their sexuality. Man, ladies, y'all tighten up as a whole. You need to tighten up, because y'all gonna look up and ain't nobody gonna want to mess with y'all other just what's in between your legs.
Yeah.
And I know y'all don't want that. I know y'all don't want that. I know y'all don't want that. You look around and don't nobody want to take you serious.
They don't want to know. They don't know what they want.
It's really just to get their rocks off and they going about their business. Is that really what you want to be used for? Y'all don't want to be loved right. Y'all don't want to be loved. Y'all don't want to be treated right. Y'all don't want none of that. Y'all just want to be reckless, do whatever y'all want, and then y'all expect for other people to just take it, tolerate it.
Yeah.
And then if they leave you alone, you flip it on them like they did something wrong.
Yeah. The traits to get a man to sleep with you as a woman, I mean, you don't really even have to have any positive traits. Men will literally sleep with women that they're not attracted to. They'll sleep with women that they actually hate. They'll sleep with women that sometimes they're even disgusted by, because guys are just so desperate to get something. Not me, but there are some guys that'll do that. But I think that it's really interesting that there are just different characteristics that it takes to get something short term versus to maintain something over the long term. And there are a lot of women who know how to trick the male gaze by wearing makeup, wearing all this shapewear, all this stuff that makes the curves of their body look a certain way, so they look good on the outside. They look like a woman on the outside, but then when you dig down deeper, they don't behave like a woman. And so they have the beauty, or they make themselves appear to be attractive with the face paint and all the other different methods on the outside to get a man's interest, but then to maintain that man's interest, you find out that they don't have any long-term traits. So oftentimes dudes are going into lust with these women because they like what they see, sleeping with them, and then when they out of that they get that post-nut clarity, they realize they don't even like this woman because she don't got any long-term characteristics for a relationship.
And it's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Me and my buddy were out having a coffee today. There's this fucking pretty girl walks by. She wasn't a 10. She was cute. Big old rock on her finger. Smiling, looking at us. Smiling. I'm not even in good shape right now. I'm all unshaven. I've gained fucking a ton of weight. Fucking smiling, walking, like knowing fucking, she knows what the fuck was up. Probably on the phone with her fucking man. Fucking, I can't wait. I'm getting my shit back together. I can't wait for the end of this fucking summer. Because I'm done fucking feeling like shit over what other people did to me. I'm fucking done. I don't know why I'm the one that feels fucked up, but I am. Maybe it takes time stepping back from something and looking at it and being like, why am I beating myself up? I didn't do a fucking thing wrong, really. But when you deal with someone that tells you you're fucking wrong all the time, it can skew your perception. Can screw your fucking perception big time. Or when people fucking think they're right or normal when they're not. Like these people I'm going to show you next. Let's check out some fucking clown world insanity. See some liberal meltdowns, some fucking other morons that live in a fucking warped reality.
Yeah, I thought that I had a video explaining my these are pronouns, but I don't. And I could have sworn that I posted, but it's probably in my drafts. Okay, but anyway, zers, and zerself. That is my main preferred pronoun, and it's an example of neopronouns. And a neopronoun is a pronoun that does not express gender. So basically, gender neutral pronouns, just like they, them. Except it's not they, them. Now, I do not expect anyone to use Zer because it's probably new to y'all. Y'all probably don't know what neopronouns is, which is exactly why I'm making this video.
More made up shit. Made up shit.
For the love of death, please.
I'm not a man. I'm not a woman. I'm just a human. Fucking nuts. Nuts. This is why this shit is allowed nowadays.
It is absolutely amazing to me how many young women we see here in these videos that have been so brainwashed by gender ideology that they get triggered by she, her pronouns. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So I have a fairly quick and slightly crazy clown world update for you guys today, and as usual, we have no time to waste, so let's get into it. Now, if you place your attention on the screen for a moment. So this fella is Callie. Now, Callie is one of these people who virtue signaled back in 2021 and put one of these frames around his profile pictures. The caption says, "Misinformation is deadly. Vaccines save lives." Now we're going to see where Callie is present day and see how the Fauci sauce treated him.
A few moments later.
Oh, nice.
What is wrong with you?
Is that what the vaccine caused?
All right, we're going to keep it moving with this clip of New York Attorney General Letitia James. Now, you guys remember her. She's the one that brought those bunk charges against President Trump. Well, it turns out she's the one that's been committing mortgage fraud, and now Trump's Department of Justice is investigating her. Now, some of you might be thinking, Mike, this isn't good. This looks just like revenge and political lawfare. To that I say, fucking fantastic. Roll it.
My mission is clear. I'm focused. I'm prepared. I'm ready. I've been trained by the best. I went to Howard University. That overturned legal segregation in this country. I've been taught in those classrooms where Thurgood Marshall once taught. I'm not afraid of no president. Donald Trump, we're ready for you. We're coming for you. We're standing up for you. We're fighting on. We're not going down silent. Victory, my friends, is clear. It's now. And I'm not waiting 4 years. I'm waiting 2 until a speaker by the name of Hakeem Jeffries comes to bring us some rest. Come on, ladies. It's up to us. We saved this democracy before. We'll save it now. Let's go.
Delusional.
You fat bitch. And next up, up, we have this individual who is going to sing us a song about President Trump. And this is not Ernest P. Worrell from Ernest Goes to Camp. Roll it.
Trans idiot. Nothing like an 80-year-old man dressing like a woman to tell you what's going on in reality.
Young white liberal woman who is going to explain to us why white people try to hide their racism. This should be good. Roll it.
Why aren't white people openly racist? Why do they try to hide it with these weird innuendos that they think are subtle? It's because part of them knows that racism is not currently in fashion. However, the more that Trump continues to spout racist nonsense and be our president, the more it becomes in fashion, aka socially acceptable. That is why I have seen more blatant acts of racism in the last, say, year than I have ever in my life.
Oh my God.
As well as online, and hate crimes are going up across the nation. Explicit racism is being modeled by people in our government right now, and it's also being modeled by popular social media influencers. And
it's funny because racism and hate crimes grew 4%. They didn't grow 4%. They grew more under Biden than under Trump. And crimes against white people by other people have gone up more than fucking half. But I digress.
Content creators. However, it's still not fully socially acceptable to be openly racist and say it with your chest. So that is why they continue to try to hide it. And if there's one thing that white people hate, it's confrontation. It's being called out. So that is why when they are being racist, they would prefer to do so secretly so that they maintain plausible deniability instead of being called out, because at that point that is damaging to their reputation. It's about self-preservation for white people. That is why they're openly racist.
Well, I guess I'm racist.
Fucking funny.
But next up, we have this individual who is a biological man that identifies as a trans woman, and he says that trans people are God's most evolved creations. Now, I always find it interesting when they say that
trans people are God's most. Say that again? Oh my goodness. Trans people are God's most highly created individuals. Is that what he just said?
are God's most evolved creations.
Trans people are God's most evolved creations. Oh my God. When will it stop? When will it fucking stop?
Now, I always find it interesting when they say that trans people just want to be their true selves. They're doing the exact opposite of that. Roll it.
Trans people are God's most evolved creations. Trans people are God's most evolved creations. Trans people represent a vast fucking evolution in the human experience. They represent a profound knowingness that you are going to radically love yourself and be yourself. It's actually amazing, and that's...
How can people say they're being themselves when they're not being themselves? If you were actually being yourself, you would be a man, not a fucking woman, or vice versa. This is fucking nuts. I'm so sick of this shit. Oh, we're just being ourselves. No, you're not. If you were just being yourself, you wouldn't cut your balls off.
That's why it's a threat to people, and that's why it's so misunderstood, because a lot of us on Earth are not fully being ourselves and not fully living present in life, and trans people are reflecting that in many ways. To know, have this profound feeling of knowingness is such superpower that deserves to be held up and loved by people. And that's how I feel today, and that's what I want you to know. And sorry if it's corny, but it's true.
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
And next up, we have this person who identifies as a
Unfucking real.
non-binary, or NB, as the cool kids say. Roll it.
So you're not a man and you're not a woman either. So what are you? Thank you for asking. I'm a miracle. I'm a fountain of love. I'm rain after a long dry spell. I'm a butterfly in flight. I'm a galaxy.
You're a delusional.
I'm a thunderstorm.
You're a fucking
I'm a rainbow. Idiot. Take your back. It's so much fun over here. Y'all in binary land, you're missing out. Oh man. Oh woman. Oh human.
Hey guys, real quick, before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsors of today's video. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen. Now, apparently this young lady tried to get a job at Hooters, and I will unmute it and just...
If I saw that at Hooters, I'd be fucking pissed. This is ridiculous. This is the type of shit. Oh yeah, you're hot. Fuck out of here. Here's another moron. And another moron. I've done all I can with morons today. At least we got to see a couple assholes fuck around and find out. Please like, share, subscribe. Maybe I'll catch you guys tonight. Later.